Welcome to AudioFi. This audiobook has been thoughtfully created using research-backed principles from psychology, neuroscience, and personal development. Every chapter is designed to help you understand yourself better, think clearer, and grow stronger from the inside out. So, find a quiet space, sit back, and allow yourself to absorb these transformative ideas. Listen with an open mind and a ready heart, because the change you seek may just begin with this very moment. If you can train your mind to stay clear under pressure, you can win in any situation. Nothing outside you will ever have the power to break you inside. That's not just a quote. That's the truth most people never learn. They focus on fixing everything around them, but never take control of what really matters, their mind. Your brain is running default settings designed to keep you alive, not help you win. Champions upgrade their mental software. This isn't feel-good fluff. This is brain reprogramming. Welcome to Wired for Victory. Rewire your brain to win every time. Chapter 1. Turn every problem into your advantage. Most people run from problems, like problems are the enemy. But here's what they don't understand. Problems aren't blocking your path to success. They are the path. Every obstacle you face is training equipment for your mind. Every challenge is curriculum for your growth. While everyone else complains about what's hard, you're about to learn why smart people get excited when problems show up. Because problems don't break strong minds, they build them. Listen up. You've been thinking about problems all wrong. From the moment you could walk, they taught you that problems are bad. School taught you to avoid mistakes. Your parents protected you from difficulty. Society sold you the lie that life should be smooth and easy. But here's what nobody told you. Every single thing you want in life is on the other side of a problem you're currently avoiding. That promotion you want? It requires solving problems your current position doesn't demand. That relationship you crave? It requires handling problems that come with real connection. That business you dream about? It requires facing problems you've never dealt with before. You've got to understand something right now. Problems aren't roadblocks. They're training equipment. Think about a gym. What makes your muscles stronger? Resistance. What happens when you remove all resistance from your workout? You get weaker. Your life works the same way. But here's where it gets powerful. While everyone else sees obstacles as things to overcome or eliminate, champions see obstacles differently. They see them as exactly what they needed. They ask different questions when problems show up. Most people ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Champions ask, "What is this teaching me?" Most people think, "This shouldn't be happening." Champions think, "This is my training." Most people want someone to fix this for me. Champions want the skills to handle this myself. This isn't positive thinking. This is strategic thinking. Every obstacle you face is specifically designed to give you capabilities you don't currently have. It's forcing you to develop new muscles, mental muscles, emotional muscles, practical muscles that will serve you for the rest of your life. The obstacle reveals what you need to develop next. That difficult client is teaching you patience. That financial pressure is teaching you resourcefulness. That health challenge is teaching you discipline. That relationship conflict is teaching you communication. That business failure is teaching you resilience. What stops most people becomes your competitive advantage. While they're complaining, you're training. While they're quitting, you're getting stronger. While they're looking for easy, you're getting comfortable with hard. Here's your new operating system. When facing any challenge, ask, "What is this teaching me?" List 3 specific skills this obstacle is forcing you to develop. Stop seeing setbacks as punishment and start seeing them as your curriculum. You've got to reframe every problem as training. When something goes wrong, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What now?" Don't waste energy fighting what's already happened. Put that energy into what happens next. And here's the part that separates winners from everyone else. Once you master your current challenges, you actively seek harder ones. Because you understand that harder problems create stronger people. Stop running from problems. Start running toward them. Stop seeing obstacles as enemies. Start seeing them as your personal training program. Stop wasting your pain. Start using it as fuel. Your problems aren't trying to destroy you. They're trying to develop you. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you become someone who can't be stopped by what used to stop everyone else. That's how you turn every problem into your advantage. That's how you build a mind that wins. And that's just the beginning. Because next, we need to talk about something even more important, the difference between pain and suffering. Chapter 2. Choose your response to pain every time. Life is going to hurt you. That's not a possibility, it's a guarantee. You will face loss, rejection, failure, and disappointment. But here's what changes everything. The pain isn't what breaks people. It's what they do with the pain that either destroys them or makes them stronger. Most people turn temporary pain into permanent suffering. You're about to learn why pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice you make. Stop lying to yourself. Life isn't fair, safe, or predictable. People you love will leave. Dreams you chase will fail. Plans you make will crumble. Your body will break down. Your heart will get broken. Your trust will get violated. This isn't being negative. This is being real. But here's the part that will change your life. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Most people don't understand this difference, so they turn a moment of hurt into years of torture. They take a setback and make it mean something about who they are. They take what happened to them and let it become what happens in them. Let me break this down for you. Pain is what happens to you. Suffering is what you do with the pain. Pain says, "This hurts right now." Suffering says, "This always hurts and always will." Pain says, "This is difficult." Suffering says, "This is impossible." Pain says, "I'm going through something hard." Suffering says, "Bad things always happen to me." Pain is the event. Suffering is the story you tell yourself about the event. And here's what's crazy. Your story creates more damage than the actual event ever could. Think about the last time someone rejected you. The actual moment of rejection lasted, 30 seconds? Maybe a few minutes? But how long did you suffer about it? Days, weeks, months? The event was brief. Your story about the event created the suffering. Your brain can't just experience pain. It has to explain pain. And the explanations it comes up with are usually personal, permanent, and catastrophic. She rejected me because I'm not good enough. I failed because I'm not smart enough. This happened because I'm unlucky. Things never work out for me. These stories turn temporary pain into permanent suffering. They take one specific event and make it mean something about your identity, your future, and your worth. But here's what strong people understand. You can experience pain without adding the mental torture. When pain hits, you have a choice. You can feel the hurt without creating a story about why you're a victim. You can accept what happened without making it mean something bigger about you, your life, or your future. This isn't about pretending pain doesn't exist. This is about not making pain worse than it already is. It's about experiencing what's actually happening instead of torturing yourself with what it might mean. The practice is simple, but not easy. When pain shows up, separate what actually happened from the story about what happened. Ask yourself, what really occurred here? Versus, what am I making this mean? Start saying, this hurts and that's okay, during difficult moments. Not, this hurts and it's terrible, or this hurts and I can't handle it. Just, this hurts and that's okay. Stop asking, why me? That question assumes you're special, that bad things shouldn't happen to you. Start asking, what now? That question acknowledges reality and moves you toward action. Build your pain tolerance through voluntary discomfort. Take cold showers. Do hard workouts. Fast sometimes. Practice being uncomfortable so you're not shocked when life makes you uncomfortable. Here's what's powerful about accepting pain. When you stop fighting reality, you stop wasting energy on battles you can't win. When you stop resisting what already happened, you can focus your energy on what happens next. The pain you resist persists. The pain you accept transforms. You become unbreakable, not because nothing can hurt you, but because pain no longer controls your responses or decisions. You feel everything fully, but you don't let feelings run your life. Pain is information, not instructions. It tells you something happened, but it doesn't tell you what to do next. That's your choice. That's your power. Your job isn't to avoid pain. That's impossible. Your job is to choose your response to pain. And when you master that choice, you master your life. Now let's talk about the foundation that makes all of this possible: discipline. Chapter 3. Use discipline to buy your freedom. You think discipline is a prison, but you're completely wrong. Discipline is the key that unlocks every door you want to walk through. While undisciplined people are slaves to their impulses and moods, disciplined people are truly free. Most people have this backwards. They think rules restrict them. But the truth is, the most controlled people are the most liberated. You're about to learn how discipline becomes your pathway to complete freedom. Here's something you need to understand right now. You're already disciplined. The question is, disciplined to what? You're disciplined to checking your phone every few minutes. You're disciplined to eating when you're bored. You're disciplined to avoiding hard conversations. You're disciplined to staying up late and sleeping in. You're disciplined to making excuses instead of making progress. The only difference between people who win and people who don't is that winners are disciplined to things that serve them, while losers are disciplined to things that sabotage them. Undisciplined people aren't free, they're slaves to their weakest impulses. They can't wake up early because they're slaves to the snooze button. They can't save money because they're slaves to instant gratification. They can't build relationships because they're slaves to their comfort zone. They can't pursue their dreams because they're slaves to their fears. Every time you give in to your weakest impulse, you make yourself weaker. Every time you choose what's easy over what's right, you become more enslaved to your limitations. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you teach yourself that your word means nothing. But here's what happens when you develop real discipline. Every act of self-control expands your options and choices. When you control your spending, you have more money. When you control your schedule, you have more time. When you control your responses, you have better relationships. When you control your focus, you get better results. Discipline in small things creates freedom in big things. The person who can wake up early has more hours in their day. The person who can say no to distractions can say yes to opportunities. The person who can control their emotions can control their destiny. Most people think structure limits creativity. They think routine kills spontaneity. They think rules restrict freedom. But it's exactly the opposite. Structure and routine create space for creativity and spontaneity. The musician who practices scales every day has the freedom to improvise. The athlete who follows a training program has the freedom to perform under pressure. The business owner who follows systems has the freedom to focus on strategy. Your discipline becomes your competitive advantage. While everyone else is controlled by their moods, you're controlled by your mission. While they're slaves to their feelings, you're free to pursue your goals regardless of how you feel. Here's how you build unshakable discipline. Choose one non-negotiable daily discipline and never break it. Not when you're tired, not when you're busy, not when you don't feel like it. Never. Wake up at the same time every day, regardless of when you sleep. Your body and mind will adapt to consistency faster than they'll adapt to chaos. Complete your most important work before checking any distractions. Email, social media, news, texts. None of these are more important than moving your life forward. Learn to say no to good things so you can say yes to great things. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that matters. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. You're not trying to be disciplined in every area immediately. You're trying to prove to yourself that you can be disciplined in one area completely. Once you build the muscle of discipline in one area, it spreads to other areas. The person who never misses a workout starts eating better. The person who always wakes up early starts going to bed on time. The person who saves money consistently starts investing wisely. Discipline compounds. Every disciplined choice makes the next disciplined choice easier. Every undisciplined choice makes the next undisciplined choice more likely. You become truly free because you're no longer controlled by weakness, impulse, or outside pressure. Most people will never experience this freedom because they're not willing to pay the price. They want the results of discipline without the habits of discipline. They want the freedom without the structure. But you understand that discipline isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's not a restriction. It's liberation. It's not limiting your options. It's creating better options. The more you control yourself, the less the world can control you. That's real freedom. That's real power. Next, we need to address the biggest energy leak in your life: trying to control things you can't control. Chapter 4. Focus only on what you can control. You're bleeding energy every single day, and you don't even know it. While you're worried about things you can't control, other people's opinions, the economy, traffic, politics, what happened yesterday, your actual life is slipping away. Champions have figured out something most people never learn. They've identified exactly what they can and cannot control, and they put 100% of their energy into what they can actually influence. You're about to learn how to stop the energy leak and become incredibly powerful. You have 3 types of energy in your life: infinite energy for what you control, wasted energy for what you can't control, and no energy left for what actually matters. Most people spend 80% of their mental energy on things they have zero control over. They worry about what other people think. They stress about traffic. They argue about politics. They complain about the weather. They lose sleep over things that happened in the past or might happen in the future. Meanwhile, the things they can actually control, their effort, their attitude, their response, their daily habits, their next action, get whatever scraps of energy are left over. This is backwards, and it's why most people feel powerless in their own lives. Most anxiety comes from focusing on uncontrollables. You're not anxious because your life is hard. You're anxious because you're trying to control things that can't be controlled. You're wrestling with reality instead of working with it. Here's what you can control: your effort, your attitude, your response, your preparation, your focus, your daily habits, your next action, your words, your boundaries, your standards. Here's what you can't control: other people's actions, timing, outcomes, the past, the future, other people's opinions, economic conditions, traffic, the weather, how fast things happen. Your effort, attitude, and response are always under your control. Even when everything else is chaos, even when nothing goes according to plan, even when people disappoint you, you still control how much effort you put in, what attitude you choose, and how you respond to what happens. Other people's actions, timing, and outcomes are never under your control. You can influence them, but you can't control them. You can do everything right and still not get the results you want. You can be perfect and still have people reject you. You can work incredibly hard and still face setbacks. This isn't unfair, it's just reality. And once you accept this reality, you become incredibly powerful because all of your energy flows toward things you can actually do something about. Energy spent on controllables multiplies. Energy spent on uncontrollables disappears. When you focus on your effort improves. When you focus on your attitude improves. When you focus on your responses get better. But when you focus on what other people should do, nothing changes. When you focus on how unfair life is, nothing changes. When you focus on what should have happened, nothing changes. The secret is learning to redirect your focus instantly. When you catch your mind wandering into uncontrollable territory, you have to snap it back to what you can actually do. This isn't easy at first, but it becomes automatic with practice. Before any meeting or challenge, list what you can and cannot control. This simple exercise will immediately redirect your energy toward action instead of anxiety. You can control your preparation, not their decision. You can control your presentation, not their response. You can control your effort, not the outcome. You can control your attitude, not their attitude. When you feel stressed, immediately ask, "What's my next controllable action?" This question cuts through all the mental noise and gets you back to what matters. The next thing you can actually do. Stop following news that you cannot influence or act upon. If you can't vote on it, invest in it, or take action because of it, you don't need to know about it. Your mental bandwidth is precious. Protect it like it matters. Start tracking your daily mental energy. How much goes to controllables versus uncontrollables? Most people are shocked when they realize how much energy they waste on things they can't change. Here's what happens when you master this. You become incredibly powerful because 100% of your energy flows toward things you can actually influence. While everyone else is scattered, you're focused. While they're worried, you're working. While they're complaining about problems, you're creating solutions. This becomes your competitive advantage. Complete focus on your controllables. You're not wasting energy arguing with reality. You're not burning mental calories on other people's drama. You're not stressed about things outside your influence. You become unstoppable because every ounce of your energy is invested in things that can actually improve your life. People around you will notice the difference. They'll wonder why you seem so calm when everyone else is panicked. They'll ask how you stay so productive when they feel overwhelmed. The answer is simple. You've learned to put your energy where it can make a difference. There's a massive shift that happens when you truly grasp this concept. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start feeling like the author of your story. You stop waiting for conditions to be perfect and start making the best of current conditions. You stop complaining about what's wrong and start working on what you can fix. You stop hoping other people will change and start changing yourself. You stop expecting the world to be fair and start making your own fairness through your choices and actions. The people around you will think you don't care about important issues. The truth is, you care so much about your life that you refuse to waste energy on things you can't change. You're too busy building the life you want to complain about the world you can't control. Control the controllables, and you control your destiny. Your energy is your most valuable resource. Where you put it determines what you get back. Most people never learn this lesson. They spend their entire lives frustrated because they're trying to control things that can't be controlled while neglecting the things they actually have power over. Don't be most people. Focus only on what you can control. Put your energy where it can make a difference. Stop wasting mental calories on other people's choices and start investing them in your own. There's something else draining your power every single day. Your addiction to staying comfortable. Chapter 5. Make discomfort your training ground. Your comfort zone isn't keeping you safe, it's keeping you weak. Every day you stay comfortable, you're getting softer, slower, and less prepared for real challenges. While you're avoiding discomfort, life is preparing bigger discomforts for you. Champions know something you need to learn. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you're not regularly uncomfortable, you're not growing, you're shrinking. Time to change that. Listen to me carefully. Your comfort zone is actually a danger zone. It feels safe because nothing challenges you there, nothing pushes you, nothing makes you stronger. But that's exactly the problem. While you're staying comfortable, the world is getting more competitive. While you're avoiding hard things, other people are doing hard things. While you're choosing easy, life is preparing to give you hard, whether you're ready or not. You've got to understand something right now. Discomfort isn't your enemy. Discomfort is your trainer. Every time you choose discomfort voluntarily, you're preparing for the discomfort that life will give you involuntarily. Every time you push yourself beyond what feels good, you're building the strength to handle what doesn't feel good. Think about this. The strongest people you know aren't strong because they avoided hard things. They're strong because they did hard things regularly. They made discomfort their training ground instead of their enemy. Your comfort zone has rules that keep you small. It says, don't take risks. Don't have difficult conversations. Don't push your body. Don't challenge yourself. Don't try anything that might make you fail. Those aren't safety rules. Those are weakness rules. And if you follow them long enough, you become someone who can't handle pressure, can't face challenges, and can't grow when life demands it. But here's what happens when you start seeking discomfort. You build what I call discomfort tolerance. And discomfort tolerance is the ultimate meta skill because it affects everything else you do. When you can handle being uncomfortable, you can have the hard conversations that improve your relationships. You can push through the difficult work that advances your career. You can exercise when you don't feel like it. You can save money instead of spending it. You can face your fears instead of running from them. Discomfort tolerance makes you anti-fragile. That means you don't just survive stress, you get stronger from it. While other people break under pressure, you use pressure to build strength. Here's the truth most people never realize. What feels uncomfortable today becomes your normal tomorrow, but only if you practice, only if you train, only if you stop running from what challenges you and start running toward it. Here's how you start building this. Take cold showers. Not because it feels good, but because it doesn't. Your body will resist. Your mind will make excuses. Do it anyway. That's training. Sleep on the floor sometimes. Fast intermittently. Do physical exercise that challenges you every single day. Say yes to opportunities that scare you but could help you grow. Have the difficult conversations you've been avoiding. Make the phone calls you don't want to make. Do the work that feels hard instead of looking for what feels easy. Each time you choose discomfort over comfort, you're voting for the person you want to become instead of the person you currently are. Most people wait until life forces discomfort on them. They wait until they get fired to look for a new job. They wait until they're sick to get healthy. They wait until their relationship is broken to work on communication. Don't be most people. Seek discomfort before it seeks you. Choose voluntary hardship so you're prepared for involuntary hardship. Start small, but start today. Do one thing that makes you uncomfortable every single day. Not because you have to, but because you choose to. Because you understand that comfortable people become victims when life gets uncomfortable. You're not trying to torture yourself. You're trying to prepare yourself. You're building the kind of strength that can't be shaken by circumstances. Build your discomfort systematically. Start with small challenges and gradually increase them. Like going to the gym, you don't start by lifting the heaviest weight. You build up progressively. Track your progress. Notice how things that used to feel impossible now feel manageable. Notice how your tolerance for difficulty increases. Notice how you start seeking bigger challenges because you know they make you stronger. The beautiful thing about building discomfort tolerance is that it compounds. Each uncomfortable thing you do makes the next uncomfortable thing easier. You build momentum, you build confidence, you build the unshakable knowledge that you can handle whatever comes next. Here's what most people don't understand. Comfort kills more dreams than failure ever will. Failure teaches you lessons. Failure makes you stronger. Failure gives you data about what doesn't work so you can find what does work. But comfort teaches you nothing. Comfort makes you weaker. Comfort gives you no data because you never test yourself against reality. When you make discomfort your training ground, you become someone who doesn't break when things get hard. You become someone who gets excited by challenges instead of scared by them. You become anti-fragile. That's the difference between people who win and people who don't. Winners train in discomfort. Losers hide in comfort until comfort is no longer an option. The people who seem to handle stress effortlessly aren't built differently than you. They've just trained differently than you. They've made friends with discomfort while you've been avoiding it. Comfort is seductive. It whispers that you deserve to take it easy. It tells you that you've earned the right to relax. But comfort is a liar. Comfort doesn't care about your dreams. Comfort doesn't care about your potential. Comfort only cares about keeping you exactly where you are, Even when you're comfortable with discomfort, there's ancient programming in your brain that's still trying to keep you small. Chapter 6. Override your survival programming. Your brain is running 50,000-year-old software that was designed to keep your ancestors alive, but it's keeping you small. Right now, your amygdala is treating a job interview like a saber-toothed tiger attack. It's treating public speaking like mortal danger. It's scanning for threats and problems instead of opportunities and possibilities. You need to understand something. Your brain's primary job is survival, not success. And if you want to achieve greatness, you need to consciously override its limiting commands. Here's what you need to understand about your brain. It's not working for you. It's working against you. Your brain was designed by evolution to keep you alive in a world that no longer exists. It's running ancient programming that treats modern challenges like life or death situations. That's why you feel genuine fear when you have to give a presentation. That's why your heart races when you're about to ask for a raise. That's why you feel physically threatened by situations that are actually safe. Your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, can't tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. It can't tell the difference between physical danger and social discomfort. It treats rejection the same way it treats a charging predator. This system kept your ancestors alive when they were being hunted by actual predators. But now, it's keeping you from living the life you want. Now, it's keeping you small when you should be growing. Now, it's keeping you safe when you should be taking smart risks. Your brain's default mode is scanning for threats and problems. It's looking for what could go wrong, what might hurt you, what you should avoid. That's not pessimism, that's programming. That's how it was designed. But if you want to achieve anything significant, you have to consciously override this programming. You have to train your brain to scan for opportunities instead of just threats. You have to teach it that growth requires risk, and risk isn't always danger. Here's the first step. When fear hits, remind yourself, this is just old programming. Your brain is doing its job, trying to keep you safe. But its definition of safe is keeping you exactly where you are. And where you are isn't where you want to be. So, when you feel fear about taking action, recognize it, name it. Say, my brain is trying to protect me from something that isn't actually dangerous. Then, take the action anyway. The key is understanding that fear is information, not instructions. It's telling you that your brain perceives something as risky. But you get to decide whether that risk is worth taking. Practice doing things that feel dangerous, but are actually safe. Public speaking feels dangerous to your brain, but it's not. Starting a conversation with a stranger feels dangerous, but it's not. Asking for what you want feels dangerous, but it's not. Each time you do something that scares you but doesn't hurt you, you're retraining your brain. You're teaching it that fear isn't always a stop sign. Sometimes it's a go sign. Regularly expose yourself to controlled social and physical challenges. Join groups where you don't know anyone. Sign up for activities that push your comfort zone. Take calculated risks in your career and relationships. Your brain learns through experience, not through thinking. You can't think your way out of fear, you have to act your way out. Every time you act despite fear, you prove to your brain that the fear was wrong. Start training your brain to scan for opportunities, not just problems. When you walk into a room, instead of looking for what could go wrong, look for what could go right. Instead of thinking about what you might lose, think about what you might gain. This takes practice because it goes against your default programming. But it's possible. And when you start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles, you start moving toward success while they're paralyzed by imaginary dangers. Build a database of evidence that challenges your brain's fearful assumptions. Keep track of times you took risks and succeeded. Remember situations that felt scary but turned out fine. Your brain needs proof that its fears are often wrong. You have to understand, courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and taking action anyway. It's recognizing that your ancient brain is trying to protect you from a world that doesn't exist anymore. Most people are controlled by fears that made sense 50,000 years ago, but make no sense today. They're afraid of being rejected by their tribe, but they don't live in tribes anymore. They're afraid of standing out, but standing out is often what creates success. Don't be most people. Override your survival programming. Choose conscious growth over unconscious safety. Your brain will resist this at first. That's normal. That's expected. But every time you act despite the resistance, you become stronger, and your brain becomes smarter about what's actually worth fearing. The more you override your survival programming, the more you realize how much of your life has been controlled by false alarms. How many opportunities you've missed because your brain was protecting you from imaginary dangers. Start small. Take one action each day that your survival brain doesn't want you to take. Send that email, make that phone call, have that conversation, ask for what you want, apply for that opportunity. Each time you act despite fear, you're proving to your survival brain that you can handle more than it thinks you can. You're expanding what feels possible. You're rewriting the software. Your survival programming isn't your fault, but overriding it is your responsibility. Your ancestors needed that programming to survive. You need to override it to thrive. The irony is that the very programming designed to keep you alive is now keeping you from truly living. The fear that once protected you from real danger now protects you from imaginary danger, while exposing you to the real danger of a wasted life. Take back control. Your brain is a tool, not your master. Use it to serve your goals, not to sabotage them. Override your survival programming and start living like the champion you're meant to be. There's one more choice you make every day that determines whether you'll live with ease or regret. Chapter 7. Choose hard now or hard later. Every single day, you're making a choice that determines your entire future, and most people don't even realize they're making it. You're choosing between two types of difficulty: the difficulty of discipline or the difficulty of regret, the difficulty of doing what's right when you don't feel like it, or the difficulty of living with the consequences of doing what's wrong. Here's what you need to understand. You will face difficulty either way. The only question is when. Life is hard. That's not negotiable. That's not unfair. That's just reality. But here's what most people don't understand. You get to choose your hard. You can choose the hard of discipline, or you can accept the hard of regret. You can choose the hard of doing what's right when you don't feel like it. Or you can accept the hard of living with the consequences of doing what's wrong. Every easy choice you make today creates a harder life tomorrow. Every hard choice you make today creates an easier life tomorrow. Think about it. It's hard to wake up early, but it's harder to live with the consequences of always being behind. It's hard to save money, but it's harder to live paycheck to paycheck. It's hard to exercise regularly, but it's harder to live in a body that doesn't work. It's hard to have difficult conversations, but it's harder to live in broken relationships. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. When you choose discipline, the pain is temporary and the results are permanent. When you choose easy, the pleasure is temporary and the consequences are permanent. Most people spend their lives choosing easy in the moment and then wondering why their life is so hard overall. They hit snooze instead of getting up early, then wonder why they're always rushing. They spend money they don't have on things they don't need, then wonder why they're always stressed about money. They avoid difficult conversations, then wonder why their relationships are surface level. They choose entertainment over education, then wonder why they're not growing. They choose comfort over challenge, then wonder why they feel stuck. Your daily choices compound into your life circumstances. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. Every time you choose easy, you're voting to stay exactly where you are. Every time you choose hard, you're voting to become someone better. Here's how you start making better choices. Before any decision, ask yourself, does this make my future easier or harder? That piece of cake might taste good now, but does it make your future easier or harder? Sleeping in might feel good now, but does it make your future easier or harder? Avoiding that difficult conversation might feel good now, But does it make your future easier or harder? Start choosing the more difficult option when both lead toward your goals. Not the impossible option, the more difficult option that's still achievable. When you have a choice between comfortable and challenging, choose challenging. When you have a choice between instant gratification and long-term benefit, choose long-term benefit. When you have a choice between what you want in the moment and what you want most, choose what you want most. Batch your difficult tasks early in the day when your willpower is strongest. Don't leave the hard things until you're tired and your resistance is low. Do the hard things first, while you still have the energy to do them right. Regularly ask yourself, where am I choosing easy right now that's going to cost me later? What am I avoiding today that's going to be harder tomorrow? What difficult thing am I putting off that's only going to get more difficult with time? Most people want the results of hard choices without making hard choices. They want the body of someone who exercises without exercising. They want the bank account of someone who saves without saving. They want the relationships of someone who communicates without having difficult conversations. That's not how it works. You get the results that match your choices, not the results that match your wishes. The good news is this: every hard choice you make now makes the next hard choice easier. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you build your discipline muscle. Every time you choose long-term over short-term, you strengthen your ability to think beyond the moment. Here's what happens when you consistently choose hard now. Your life becomes progressively easier. The things that used to require massive willpower become automatic. The things that used to feel impossible become routine. You build momentum. Each disciplined choice makes the next disciplined choice more likely. Each time you do what you said you would do, you trust yourself more. Each time you choose your future over your feelings, you become someone your future self will thank. Start building a life of increasing ease by consistently choosing short-term difficulty. Choose the hard workout over the easy couch. Choose the difficult conversation over comfortable silence. Choose the challenging work over mindless entertainment. Your future self is counting on the choices you make today. Don't let them down. Most people live lives of quiet desperation because they consistently chose easy when they should have chosen hard. Don't be most people. Every day you delay the hard choice, you make it harder. Every day you choose easy, you make your future more difficult. Every day you avoid what you need to do, you create more of what you're trying to avoid. Choose hard now so you can have easy later. Choose discipline now so you can have freedom later. Choose growth now so you can have success later. The choice is yours, but the consequences are guaranteed. But here's the thing about making hard choices. You can't rely on motivation to carry you through. Chapter 8. Work like a professional, not an amateur. There are two types of people in the world: amateurs and professionals. Amateurs wait for inspiration. Professionals get to work. Amateurs are controlled by their feelings. Professionals control their feelings. Amateurs work when they feel like it. Professionals work especially when they don't feel like it. The difference between these two approaches determines everything about your results, everything about your success, everything about whether you'll achieve what you say you want to achieve. Here's the brutal truth. Most people are amateurs pretending to be professionals. They say they want to lose weight, but they only eat healthy when they feel motivated. They say they want to build a business, but they only work on it when inspiration strikes. They say they want better relationships, but they only put in effort when things are good. That's amateur behavior, and amateur behavior produces amateur results. Professionals understand something amateurs don't. Motivation is unreliable and temporary. Discipline is reliable and permanent. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Some days you have it, some days you don't. If you depend on motivation to get things done, you'll be inconsistent. If you're inconsistent, you'll get inconsistent results. If you get inconsistent results, you'll stay exactly where you are. Professionals don't wait to feel like working. They work regardless of how they feel. They show up when they're tired. They show up when they're stressed. They show up when they don't feel like it. They especially show up when they don't feel like it. That's what separates them from everyone else. Everyone else works when they feel good. Professionals work when they feel bad. Everyone else needs the perfect conditions. Professionals create their own conditions. Your identity determines your standards. If you see yourself as an amateur, you'll accept amateur standards. You'll make excuses. You'll wait for the right time. You'll work when you feel like it. But if you see yourself as a professional, you'll demand professional standards from yourself. You'll show up regardless. You'll work through resistance. You'll create consistency. Professionals understand that inspiration follows action, not the other way around. You don't wait for inspiration to take action. You take action to create inspiration. When you start working, even when you don't feel like it, something interesting happens. The act of working changes how you feel. The act of moving forward creates momentum. The act of doing something productive makes you feel productive. Amateurs think they need to feel good to work well. Professionals work well to feel good. Here's how you start working like a professional. Create non-negotiable work schedules that are independent of your mood. Decide when you're going to work on your most important things. Then work on them at that time regardless of how you feel. Start your most important work before you check how you feel about it. Don't give your emotions a vote in whether you do what you said you would do. Do it first, feel later. Develop pre-work routines that put you in professional mode. Just like athletes have pre-game routines, you need pre-work routines. Something you do that signals to your brain, it's time to work now. Track your consistency, not just your results. Professionals value showing up more than they value feeling good about showing up. They know that if they show up consistently, the results will follow. Stop negotiating with yourself about whether you're going to do what you said you would do. When it's time to work, work. When it's time to exercise, exercise. When it's time to practice, practice. No discussion, no debate, no negotiation. Professionals understand that their work doesn't depend on their feelings. Their work creates their feelings. When they work consistently, they feel capable. When they follow through on commitments, they feel confident. When they produce results, they feel motivated. Amateurs have it backwards. They wait to feel motivated so they can work. Professionals work so they can feel motivated. You're not always going to feel like doing what you need to do. That's not a problem. That's normal. The difference is whether you do it anyway. Most people let their feelings make their decisions. Professionals let their decisions make their feelings. Most people work when they want to. Professionals work when they're supposed to. That's how you become unstoppable. That's how you build a life that works. That's how you stop being controlled by your emotions and start controlling your results. Your work ethic is your competitive advantage. While everyone else is waiting for the right mood, you're making progress. While they're making excuses, you're making things happen. Professionals also understand something amateurs miss. Momentum is everything. It's easier to keep working than it is to start working. It's easier to maintain good habits than it is to build good habits. It's easier to stay disciplined than it is to become disciplined. That's why professionals protect their momentum like their life depends on it. They don't take unnecessary breaks. They don't skip days. They don't give themselves permission to slack off just because they've been working hard. Here's another thing. Professionals understand. Systems beat goals every time. Amateurs focus on the outcome they want. Professionals focus on the system that will get them there. Amateurs say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Professionals say, I'm someone who exercises every day and eats clean. See the difference? One is about a destination. The other is about identity. Your professional identity isn't something you claim. It's something you earn through consistent action. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're reinforcing that identity. Every time you follow through when it would be easier to quit, you're proving to yourself who you really are. Most amateurs are waiting for some magical moment when everything clicks and work becomes easy. That moment never comes. Professionals know that work is always work. The difference is they've made peace with that fact. They don't expect every day to be perfect. They just expect themselves to show up. Think about elite athletes. Do you think they feel like training every single day? Do you think they wake up excited to push their bodies to the limit? Number. But they do it anyway, because their identity as a professional demands it. That's the standard. That's what separates champions from everyone else. You need to decide right now. Are you an amateur or a professional? Not what you want to be. What you actually are based on how you show up. Because the truth is visible in your actions, not your intentions. Work like a professional, not an amateur. Show up regardless of how you feel. The results will follow. And here's the final truth about being a professional. It gets easier. Not because the work gets easier, but because you get stronger. Your capacity to work without motivation grows. Your tolerance for discomfort increases. Your discipline becomes automatic. That's when you know you've made the shift from amateur to professional. Now let's talk about the one thing that's probably holding you back more than anything else. Fear. Chapter 9. Enter the cave you fear most. Your biggest fear is pointing directly to your biggest breakthrough. What you're most afraid of is exactly what you most need to do. That conversation you're avoiding, that risk you won't take, that challenge you keep putting off, that's where your growth is waiting. Most people spend their entire lives running from their fears, which means they spend their entire lives running from their potential. You're about to learn why the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Listen carefully. Your fear is not your enemy. Your fear is your compass. It's pointing you toward exactly what you need to do next. It's showing you where your growth is waiting. It's highlighting the path to your breakthrough. Most people see fear as a stop sign. They feel afraid and think, I shouldn't do this. But fear isn't a stop sign, it's a direction sign. It's saying this way to your next level. Think about every significant breakthrough in your life. Did it come from doing something comfortable and familiar? Or did it come from doing something that scared you, but you did it anyway? Your greatest potential lies on the other side of your greatest fear. Everything you want, better relationships, more money, career advancement, personal growth, all of it is on the other side of something you're currently afraid to do. Here's what most people don't understand. Avoiding fear doesn't make you safe. It makes you small. Every time you run from what scares you, you shrink a little bit. Every time you choose comfort over courage, you teach yourself that you can't handle challenges. But every time you face a fear and survive it, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. Every time you do something that scares you and nothing terrible happens, you expand what's possible for you. Fear is usually based on stories you're telling yourself about what might happen, not what will happen. Your brain creates worst-case scenarios and treats them like facts. But most of what you're afraid of will never happen. And the things that do happen are rarely as bad as you imagined. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and taking action anyway. It's recognizing that growth requires risk, and risk feels scary even when it's smart. The people who seem fearless aren't people who don't feel fear. They're people who have learned to act despite fear. They've proven to themselves over and over again that they can handle whatever comes next. Here's how you start building that same confidence. Identify your biggest current fear and make a plan to face it. Not eventually, soon. What's the one thing you know you should do, but you're avoiding because it scares you? Take one small step toward your fear every single day. You don't have to conquer it all at once. You just have to move toward it consistently. Small steps toward fear build big courage over time. Seek out situations that make you nervous, but could advance your goals. Apply for the job that feels like a stretch. Start the business you've been thinking about. Have the conversation you've been avoiding. Ask for what you want, even though they might say no. Keep a courage log of fears you've faced and overcome. Write down every time you do something that scares you. Look back at it regularly to remind yourself that you're braver than you think. Start treating fear like information instead of instructions. When you feel afraid, ask yourself, what is this telling me? Instead of, how do I avoid this? Fear tells you that something matters to you. Fear tells you that you're about to grow. Fear tells you that you're on the edge of your comfort zone, which is exactly where growth happens. Most people let fear make their decisions for them. They don't apply for the job because they're afraid of rejection. They don't start the business because they're afraid of failure. They don't have the conversation because they're afraid of conflict. But here's what they don't realize. Not taking action is also a choice, and it's usually the wrong choice. The pain of not trying is worse than the pain of trying and failing. You become fearless, not because you stop feeling fear, but because you've proven to yourself that you can act despite it. You've shown yourself that you can handle whatever happens next. Every fear you face makes the next fear easier to face. Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger for the next challenge. Every time you enter the cave you're afraid of, you find treasure you didn't know existed. Stop running from your fears. Start running toward them. They're not trying to stop you. They're trying to guide you toward everything you want. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Enter the cave. Your fears aren't random. They're specifically designed to show you what you need to work on. The thing you're most afraid of is usually the thing that will change your life the most. Don't waste another day avoiding what could transform you. Face your fears. Take action despite them. Prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you think. Most people die with their dreams still inside them because they let fear win. Don't be most people. Let fear be your guide, not your jailer. The irony is that the things we fear most are often the things that will set us free. The conversation that terrifies us improves our relationship. The risk that scares us creates our success. The challenge that intimidates us reveals our strength. Stop letting fear keep you small. Use it to guide you toward becoming great. Here's something else you need to understand about fear. It never completely goes away. Even the most successful people still feel fear. The difference is they've learned to interpret it differently. When they feel fear, they get excited because they know they're on the verge of a breakthrough. You need to reframe your relationship with fear. Stop seeing it as a warning to retreat. Start seeing it as a signal that you're about to level up. The bigger the fear, the bigger the potential growth on the other side. Think about the last time you did something that truly scared you. How did you feel after you did it? Probably stronger, more confident, more capable. That's because facing fear is like lifting weights for your courage. Each rep makes you stronger. Most people spend their whole lives in a prison of their own making, built from fears they never challenged. They look back with regret, thinking, I wish I had tried. Don't let that be you. Try now. Fail now. Learn now. Grow now. Your fear might be telling you that you're not ready, but you'll never feel ready. Ready is a myth. You become ready by taking action, despite not feeling ready. That's the only way. The cave is waiting. The treasure is real. But you have to be brave enough to enter. No one else can do this for you. This is your cave, your fear, your choice. But even when you face your fears, there's one final piece that determines whether you'll actually win. Where you put your focus. Chapter 10. Control your focus. Control your reality. Your focus determines your reality. What you pay attention to expands. What you ignore shrinks. Your brain is constantly filtering millions of pieces of information, and it shows you evidence for whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for problems, you'll find them everywhere. If you're looking for opportunities, you'll find those instead. Most people don't realize they're choosing their reality every single day through what they decide to focus on. You're about to learn how to take control of this process. Here's something that will change everything. Your brain finds evidence for whatever you're looking for. This isn't positive thinking. This is neuroscience. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system, a filter that determines what information gets through to your conscious mind and what gets ignored. Right now, your RAS is filtering reality based on what you've told it is important. If you've told it that problems are important, it shows you problems everywhere. If you've told it that opportunities are important, it shows you opportunities everywhere. Think about when you're considering buying a certain car. Suddenly, you start seeing that car everywhere. The car wasn't rare before. You just weren't looking for it. Your brain wasn't filtering for it. But once you decided it was important, your RAS started showing it to you. Your focus works the same way with everything in your life. Success, problems, opportunities, obstacles, reasons why something will work, reasons why something won't work. Your brain will find evidence for whatever you're focused on. Successful people focus on opportunities. Struggling people focus on problems. It's not that successful people don't have problems, they just don't make problems their primary focus. When successful people encounter a problem, they ask, "How do I solve this?" When struggling people encounter a problem, they ask, "Why is this happening to me?" The difference in focus creates a difference in results. One focus leads to solutions. The other focus leads to suffering. Your attention is your most valuable resource, and it must be guarded like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Where you put your attention determines what you see, what you think about, what you feel, and ultimately what you do. Most people let their attention get hijacked by whatever is loudest, most urgent, or most dramatic. They focus on the news, which is designed to make them afraid. They focus on social media, which is designed to make them envious or angry. They focus on gossip, which is designed to make them feel superior or insecure. None of these things improve their life. None of these things move them toward their goals. But they consume their attention anyway, because they're not being intentional about what they focus on. You have to audit your daily inputs. What are you feeding your focus? What are you allowing into your mind? What information, people, and experiences are you giving your attention to? If you want to change your results, you have to change your focus. If you want to change your focus, you have to change your inputs. Start practicing looking for solutions in every problem situation. When something goes wrong, immediately ask, "What's the opportunity here?" Or, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How can this make me stronger?" This isn't about pretending problems don't exist. This is about training your brain to automatically look for what you can do about problems, instead of just dwelling on how bad they are. Eliminate media and relationships that focus your mind on negativity, drama, and things you can't control. If consuming something makes you feel worse without making you better prepared to handle your life, stop consuming it. Set weekly focus themes and measure what you accomplished in each area. Instead of letting your attention scatter across random urgencies, decide what deserves your focus each week and protect that focus like it's sacred. You become what you consistently pay attention to. If you consistently focus on problems, you become good at finding problems. If you consistently focus on solutions, you become good at finding solutions. If you consistently focus on what's wrong with your life, you'll feel like everything is wrong. If you consistently focus on what you're grateful for, you'll feel abundant, even when things are challenging. If you consistently focus on what other people are doing wrong, you'll become bitter and judgmental. If you consistently focus on what you can do better, you'll become someone who continuously improves. Your focus is your superpower. It's the one thing that's completely under your control, and it influences everything else in your life. Most people give their focus away to whoever asks for it. They let other people's emergencies become their priorities. They let other people's dramas become their entertainment. They let other people's fears become their limitations. Don't be most people. Guard your focus like your future depends on it. Because it does. Choose what you pay attention to. Choose what you think about. Choose what you allow into your mind. Choose what gets your mental energy. When you control your focus, you control your experience. When you control your experience, you control your reality. Your focus determines your reality. Choose wisely. Where you look is where you go. If you're constantly looking at what's wrong, that's where you'll end up. If you're constantly looking at what's possible, that's where you'll arrive. Train your brain to be a solution finder, not a problem finder. Train your attention to seek opportunities, not obstacles. Train your mind to see possibilities, not limitations. Most people never take control of their focus, so their focus gets controlled by whatever is most dramatic or most urgent. They spend their lives reacting to whatever captures their attention instead of directing their attention toward what matters. You gain ultimate control over your experience by mastering what you choose to see, think about, and act on. That's the final piece. That's how you complete the transformation. That's how you wire your brain for victory. Here's the deeper truth about focus. It's not just about what you pay attention to, it's about the quality of that attention. You can look at something without really seeing it. You can be present without really being there. Focused attention means complete immersion in what matters. When you're working on your goals, give them your full focus. Not half your attention while you check your phone, not scattered energy spread across 10 things. Full, undivided, laser-focused attention. That's when breakthroughs happen. That's when you produce your best work. Most people's attention is so fragmented, they never experience the power of true focus. They're constantly switching between tasks, constantly distracted, constantly reacting. They wonder why they're not making progress, but they've never given themselves the chance to go deep on anything that matters. Deep focus is becoming a competitive advantage in a world designed to destroy your attention. Everyone is fighting for your eyeballs, your clicks, your engagement. They don't care about your goals. They care about their metrics. You have to be ruthless about protecting your focus from these attention thieves. Create focus blocks in your day where nothing can interrupt you. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs. Put your phone in another room. Give yourself permission to focus completely on one thing at a time. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Your brain craves focus, even though modern life conditions it to crave distraction. When you give your brain the gift of sustained attention on meaningful work, it responds by entering flow states where time disappears and your best thinking emerges. The compound effect of focused attention over time is staggering. An hour of true focus is worth more than 8 hours of distracted work. Quality of attention matters more than quantity of time. Control your focus, and you don't just control your reality. You create the reality you want. You become the architect of your experience rather than a passive observer of whatever captures your attention. This is the ultimate skill. This is what separates those who achieve extraordinary things from those who drift through life wondering what happened. Focus is everything. You are wired for victory now. If something in this audiobook connected with you, even in a small way, we'd love to hear from you. What resonated most? What are you working on in your own journey? Your thoughts, your story, they truly matter here. Your feedback not only helps us create better content, but it could inspire someone else who's listening right now. So go ahead, drop a comment below, and share something real. We're listening, and we're growing together.